Hello everyone, so today we're going to look at Sailor's World. So Sailor's World kind of reminds me a bit of the whole Farmer's World kind of vibe. Obviously different theme and some differences in how you play the game. But at the end of the day, the game is revolved around boats and oil rigs. Basically, as you can see here, they have different type of ships and have the oil rigs, and basically oil rigs produce oil to fund ships that you need it for fuel, and then ships basically mine tokens that you need to repair your oil rig, and also to repair the ships itself. And that's basically the whole summary of the game of what you need to do. So overall, not too complex. And also, they've got an added bonus where you can actually own the land where you mined. So with the land, if you're a landowner, you can charge taxes from anywhere from 5 to 20%. But obviously, right now there's a lot of lands, so everyone's just basically charging 5% because anyone being higher than 5% isn't likely to have anyone going there. So basically, it's 5% that you have to pay every time you mine on their land. There is basically you go trawling, which is on people's lands. You get expeditions, which is not on people's lands, and also it gives you less tokens, but also gives you a chance to get an NFT, which is also nice as well. But apparently the chance is really slim, so you don't really, yeah. And then you can just do crafting. In the future, there are going to be battles, which will be quite interesting. And yeah, we're back there. So basically, this is the whole map of everything. On the initial look, it looks very complicated, but again, you just need one item to play the game. So nothing more. You don't have to overcomplicate it in your mind. This itself is just basically if you have an oil rig, you produce fuel. You use fuel with a ship to mine on maritime territories. Maritime territory landowners get commission, which is, as I said, about 5%. And then they either get dub, which is one of the tokens, or rec. So you can think of dub as like gold and rec as wood. Which in the game with rec they actually do call it wood. So the many terminologies in the game kind of can be a little confusing at the start because you're like, is this wood or rec? But you get the idea of what it is anyway. But yeah, and then you can use dub and rec to craft oil rigs, which is quite cool. Though currently you can only craft a really expensive one, which most people probably wouldn't be able to craft, which kind of reminds me of back in the days of Farmer's World, where you had the gold excavator, and basically the industrial oil rig acts like a gold excavator right now. Though currently it's not earning too much because oil pricing is down quite a bit. If we come here and we look up Sailor World, you can basically find the 3 tokens, and rec 1.26, fuel 0.85, and dub 1.399. And rec is by far the token that's doing the best at 85,000 wax in volume. And then you've got fuel at 28,000 and dub, which is at 30,900. So yeah, you can see rec is by far the one that's doing the best because rec is used a bit more in terms of repairing oil rigs and crafting. Dub is to repair your ships. Rec is used to repair your oil rigs. Yeah, like I'll open a game. Like I think sometimes the best thing is probably talking about the game itself and also switching into the game as well. Like I previously had an oil rig, but oil rigs just aren't profitable. So when you open a game, your inventory shows here. You have to press the stake button, and then it puts it into the game. And then basically with the expedition. Okay, that's kind of weird. Like it should just display a time here. So I'll just refresh it just in case that's like something's just like gone wrong on there. Okay, yeah. So there we go. Okay, I don't think we can. Oh, okay, right. Okay, yeah. So I was trolling, not going on an expedition. So basically, at the current stage, it takes. I'm using like an epic ship, which is it takes about 18 hours. So in a way, it's cool with these ships. Like, you've got a guppy and a windseeker, which do 2 hours, and those are your like common ships. And currently, they earn about 30 wax a day, or around about there. They cost about 500 wax to buy, and the ROI is about, anywhere between 14 to 17 days, which isn't too bad for the commons. And then we've got transport and the flying fish, which are the uncommons, um, which, yeah, they're not really earning a lot. Oh, actually, these could be the promos. Yeah, I think it's possible these are the promos and these are the uncommons. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, like these are the uncommons. Yeah, these are the commons. These are the promos. Apparently, the promos were earning a lot better than the commons, so you can actually buy these ones ahead of these ones. And then we've got the turtle and the swordfish are the uncommons, and they're only around about the 40 to 50 wax range. They cost about 800 to 700 in wax, which isn't too bad. And then basically we have the rears. The rears is the rainfall and the phantom, and they're doing about close 90 to 100 wax a day. Uh, Pricing is 1,700, and you're looking about 17 to 19 days. And then we've got the goddess and the silver dolphin, which are the epics, and they're doing about round about that 250, possibly 280, depending on tokens. So when you mine tokens, you can either choose to mine Rick, or you can choose to mine Dub. So I've already chosen Rick on this, so I can't choose here, but you can see here the expeditions you can choose to mine on these islands. They take 24 hours. The durability is 80, and basically, yeah, you can choose between Dub or Rick, as you can see. And in the same thing, when you choose on trolling, it basically, when you choose the land as well, make sure you choose the land that's appropriate to your um, basically your class for your ship, or you might end up choosing a lower tier, which you actually end up mining a lot less. So you just make sure you choose the right one, of course. And then yeah, basically you get the idea that currently the profitability of the game isn't too bad. Though I'll remind you of this, like that. Hey, these tokens got up here for a second. They came really low. So at 1.26, it's gone back up, but it got to as low as like one less than 0.7, like in the 0.6s. So that kind of just is a reflection of, hey, these games, they do come with a bit of risk. People do sell down and people do buy up as well. And at the end of the day, like, I think you just have to do your research into the game and go, is this game, worthy? Is it something that I would feel comfortable when the tokens are down? So if the tokens ever came back down to 0.6, basically would double the ROI days, and that will be in the 30s. So if it takes like 30 days or 40 days, yeah, I don't think it's too bad. So yeah, like I think at the end of the day, like if the tokens were to halve in price, your profitability would still be all right. So that's kind of how I like to look at things sometimes. That, hey, the lowest of lows for the game was in that 0.6 area before it came back up strongly, and then now profitability looks all right. Yeah, so I think for me personally, I'm liking the game so far. Like the volatility has not been nice. Like no, it kind of especially when you see a token go like to 3 wax, and it just sinks down so much, kind of scares you in a sense that, hey, you don't want to lose your money at the end of, and at the same time it's like, do I sell out or do I stay in and wait for the potential? The thing is about this type of game, the longer it goes on for, the bit more stable it becomes, because at the end of the day, it's one of those games where You basically want to just like you want to play the game and you want to earn some money and you hope it's stable. But at the end of the day as well, we can't predict what's going to happen next. So we're in basically that territory where we go, oh, actually, what happens next? And I think you really have to have belief in the game. So this game in itself is, in a sense, pretty simple. You just have to buy a ship. Any one of these ships will do. Currently, I don't recommend buying oil rigs because there's no profit in oil rigs, but it's okay if you have ships. If you have ships, then buy an oil rig if you have the money, because oil rigs are going quite cheaply right now. Was An oil rig goes for 1,649 wax, but they don't really earn anything much right now. So, but in the future they will. Like if the game stays strong, people craft more boats, people need oil more, then more oil rigs are going to be minted, and voila, we're going to be in a situation where oil rigs are desirable, but currently not that desirable yet. They are expensive to craft, as we know of this industrial oil rig. Basically, oh, where were we? Here we go. So if I press this one to craft this oil rig, it's 19,000 dub, and remember dub was like 1.3, 1.4, which makes this oil rig insanely expensive to craft. But at the same time, it's not that profitable. So you spend so much on something that's not that profitable, which is the insane fact, right? So that's the situation where we find ourselves in. That hey, we probably don't want to craft oil rigs. We probably don't actually want to own oil rigs at this time, unless you think the game's going to come back very strongly. Ships are going to be crafted, which basically is where it's trending anyway. So oil rigs could be worth quite a bit in the future. So yeah, at the current situation, if you want to craft your own ships, you can do that as well. So you can see the different crafting costs. So yeah, like you can just come into the game, log in, like you just need a Wax wallet, log in, and you can come to this crafting area and get a good idea, get a good feel for all the buttons and all that. And then yeah, you can see how you like it. But yeah, currently things are looking quite nice. And yeah, like if you have any questions, post below. Like I'm sure I would have missed like something that if you want to ask a question about, just yeah, like post, and hopefully this brief explanation just gives you an idea of what the game's about. Until then, yeah, happy playing and good luck.